Well, here's something interesting. The DVDs and Blu-rays for the second and third installment in this franchise have been out of print for a long time. Recently, the Blu-rays for Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3 have returned, but the only way to get it for free from the library is to wait and get a VHS transfer. So the original one came out, and I reviewed that. That one was pretty good for what it was. So where do we take the sequel years later? Well, rather than have like saying, "Hey, let's do this again," let's just I guess, just be self-aware of the humor that's going on within the movies. It's like, hey, let's have Angela return after she went through everything dealing with when she got committed to a mental institution for everything. So she returns as a camp counselor years later. And I'm thinking, okay, so what are we going to do? Well, we're going to have fun with all the stuff that was going on. This movie is fine for what it is. Just to give you an idea, it references Leatherface, Michael Myers, and Freddy Krueger. Some of the camp counselors are dressed as the horror movie icons, so they're kind of hoping, like saying, "Hey, let's take the meta narrative that was going on in the first one, and then have fun with it in the second one." And I like that. I liked it. Obviously, you can't really top the first one. I mean, Felicity Rose was asked to come back, and she was looking at the script and said, "Yeah, I don't like the comedic elements as much. Plus, she was getting ready for college, so she's really not in it." So they got Bruce Springsteen's sister. Yes, I am dead serious. Renee Springsteen. And I had absolutely no idea about that until today. And what we get is more of a look at the counselor side, which I liked. I liked how they went with the tropes of the counselors, partying, which I don't know, it just worked well here. It's like, let's have them fornicate, let's have them smoke marijuana, and let's have them be out in the woods. So all the classic scenes, are happening. We get to hear some references back to the first one, and the counselors think, okay, it's a great idea to prank each other. Let's have Freddy and Leatherface have fun with each other. So Angela, dressed as Leatherface, goes around pretty much just slaughters someone with a chainsaw. And he said, "Oh, don't worry, that Jake won't be here anytime soon," because obviously she was right off the. He got krilled, like, good time into the movie, and yeah, this is one of those where it does take a little bit to get going. But you get an entertainment enough, I guess. You get where people are singing, like, "I'm a happy camper, I want to camp forever." That's something you would sing for, like, kindergartners to second grade. But I guess having it with a bunch of, like, older campers and counselors just adds to the irony of everything. There was an interesting scene, like there's a guitar, there's like this little impromptu band, which was kind of funny. But eventually, we get to see all the people who are krilled or who are restrained. They eventually get taken off one by one, if you will. In an interesting scene to see them all aligned like that. That was, darkly funny. And I like that to a point. So I don't know. This movie is alright. It's not going to win any awards, and you know exactly what you're getting. Here's something interesting. There's a couple of nude scenes that Renee Springsteen has, and it's won many awards for, like, the most gratuitous nudity possible. We at least get roughly 3 different scenes with her, with the nudity, which she said that she was fine, but if given a chance, she would have gone at least a behind shot, so that would have been interesting to see. And because some of the actors were like 16, 17, the Georgia Board of Labor or whatever came in to make sure that they couldn't really swear too much or say anything too risque with the sexuality. So you can just imagine them off board kind of censoring. So that was a very unique way of ensuring that things weren't too vulgar for a movie. And I'm like, okay, that's something you don't see every day. And the soundtrack is great too. Some modern rock, especially Anvil, Straight Between the Eyes, and Obsession's Desperate to Survive. Both good soundtracks. And I'm like, alright then. So, Sleepaway Camp 2, Unhappy Visitors. It's an okay sequel that kind of just does a satire, his self-awareness, dark humor, with all that was going on with the teen slashers at the time. So, do I recommend it? Yeah, just at least just to watch it, but just pay the money on YouTube to watch the better quality, because the DVD quality, the transfer sucks, not the movie. So, there you go.